Привет, hello everyone, welcome back to another Vanguard deck profile of Bermuda Triangle. Let's go on in and check it out. So here we are with the profile, where we're starting out the profile. We are going to be working with the 5 together grade 1 units for this particular Bermuda Triangle Melody deck profile. I know the set came out, the Colorful Pastoral set came out. Not many people are really talking about these grade 1s. There was one top I saw somewhere, don't remember what country, but someone topped using this profile, and I've actually been in and out playtesting this, so I thought I'd show you guys my deck list of how I utilize the 5 together grade 1s along with the other melody cards. So let's go on in and discuss this deck profile, starting with one of the probably most techie cards you can change in and out, and that's Crystal Pop Eve. So Crystal Pop Eve is a really good finisher. You don't have to run her, you can change her out for a grade 3 melody, and I'll tell you which one to change out as we're discussing further into the profile. But pretty much just Crystal Pop Eve, and her skill is you can look at top card and place it down on open rearguard circle. Look at top card, place it down on open rearguard circle. And you can keep doing this until you have no more open rearguard circles, but you can still look at top card. And when you do, you can put it back on top. And then the other skill is your trigger effects get doubled. So if you have a 10k, now it's a 20k. If it's a crit, the crit does double. The heals obviously don't double. And yeah, so the really good finisher. This is definitely your card that you want to find as quickly as possible. But because the deck doesn't... Oh, my cat's meowing. One second, guys. The whole point of this is you want to use this as a finisher if you get to it. The deck does not really work well with drawing too well. So like I said, this is very techie. You may not want to use it. You may just want to go straight melodies, because getting to this, if it's on the bottom, is actually quite hard. Because that's the one minus of this deck, is that you don't really draw, but you can kill easily. Anyway, go on to our grade 3s. I'm going to start with one particular grade 3 that I think is very important to the deck, and without it, you're going to have a hard time. And this is the only thing you want to take out for the Crystal Pop, and that's your 3 Finas. So Fina's skill lets you intercept with your units, which makes your grade 1s, these grade 1s, really strong, because they get 10k power in your hand. They become heal triggers, and that's the main focus of what makes this deck good. And as I was explained, you can put this in as your 4th copy if you want to utilize the true full potential of Fina, because riding Fina actually isn't too bad if you're trying not to die. Like if you know you're going to have a rough turn coming up with your opponent, you might want to ride this first over Sonata or Caro, just so you can have the sustainability to survive, because 2 of these will really amp up your hand, because since we are putting a ton of melodies in this deck, everything will be able to be a shield value of some kind. So this is really good for just that shield value. And honestly, personally, I might actually take out Sonata and put one of these in just to really utilize this, but I'm still playing around with it. I like it. I put it at 3 for now, but this is really good if you want to just have the sustained game, because like I said, we don't draw that much in this particular profile. We just kill really fast if we get to all our stuff quickly enough. Anyway, so 3 Finas for the intercept, for the secondary power, the secondary skill, which is I think it's Soul Blast. Yeah, Soul Blast 2, and any on-hit abilities become hittable regardless. You don't really use that skill, but primarily the intercept focus is what is at with the Finas. And then next we have our 4 Sonata. I like calling her Sonata. Anyway, so the 4 Sonatas, pretty basic skill overall. Her first skill, which is shared with all melodies, just like the Fina skill, they all have some kind of melody shared skill. This one is everything gets 5k, so and it does stack, so if you have 2 of these on the board, it's 10k, and so on and so forth. Her second skill is pretty decent. It's Counterblast, Soul Blast. Keep revealing cards until you get a melody and put it on an open rearguard circle, or 2 rearguard circles, sorry. And shuffle your deck. And this is really good to just get more melodies out. Sometimes she's not the best thing to ride, but she's not bad either. It's pretty much just a power card. It's just your best way to get those 51k columns, 61k columns, and so on and so forth. Very strong card to just get those columns as high as possible, as quickly as possible. Lastly, for our grade 3 lineup, is 4 Caros. So Caro, of course, so she boosts, that's her melody skill. She gives every melody the ability to boost. If she's on Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 2 and get another copy of her in your deck. So usually the main focus is to get her to boost. If you just need more melodies, you can obviously ride her and do that and just activate her skill that way, but the main focus is to just get all your melodies to boost as quickly as possible so you can amplify your damage as quickly as possible. So that's where the main focus is of this card. Yeah, this is a really good card. I wouldn't. This is probably the best card to get your power as quick as possible. Also gives another 5k, so if you stack this with Sonata, you can really make your comms pretty big. It gets 5k specifically when it boosts, so all your melodies get that 5k when they boost. Really good. Grade 3. Definitely want to run it. Definitely want to get to it as quick as possible. On to the grade 2s. So this is when, again, you can play with tech with this. If you want to go just straight melodies, then go straight melodies. But I actually run 3 Weaselots for the rush. So her skill is look at top card, either place it down on a rearguard circle or put it into soul. So you can get your soul stacked up in case you're running on soul, running old soul, or you can place the card down if it's a Caro. That's like probably the most ideal card you can get, or Sonata, especially if you're not going against the retired clan. You can just easily start swinging and start amplifying your melodies as quickly as possible, start doing high damage, start boosting. So this card kind of makes your deck rush a lot faster, and now that it's unbanned even more so, you can pretty much run this card and just slam dunk on your opponent on your grade 2 turn. Very good card. You can tech this out for other grade 2 melodies if that's what you want to do. Not against it. Just keep in mind you only have like 6 spots, so you don't have so much room for everything, but for the purpose of having more shield value with the Phenom, I'm all for it. I run this because I want to kill my opponent before they kill me, so we put it at 3. Next we have 3 grade 2 Sonatas, and this is from Colorful Pastel Sonata. The reason why I run this at 3 is because she literally does the same thing that the grade 3 one does, except you have to hit Vanguard, but you also still get the 5k. It still stacks with all the other melodies. It's the only grade 2 that has her skill that does stack currently. She's really good. It's just because we already have the 4 grade 3 Sonatas. There's only, like I said, there's only 5 rearguard circles. I said 6 before, but I meant 5. There's 5 rearguard circles. You can only put so many Sonatas on the board. Like, obviously you want at least 1 Caro so you can boost. So ideally, I put it at 3 because I'd rather utilize my other options that are out there for melody units. So I put her at 3 because she does the same thing. Really good card, definitely good for power levels. Good early game if you get her, and she's a good ride target for grade 2s. And then next we have a very interesting card. We have our from Colorful Pastel Cannon. So Cannon skill is when placed, you soul charge. And if your Vanguard is Melody, then if for this battle, whatever this battle will be, your opponent has to grab 2 cards. This is really good as a finisher. Like if your opponent has like only 1 card in hand or something, they like have to take this damage pretty much if it comes down to that. So you really have to, they really need to worry about how they guard late game with this card. This card does not stack with your other melody units, like as mentioned, only the Sonata does. So this is a really good card to use to just be really annoying. You also get some soul out of it, which isn't bad. Highly recommend this using late game. Don't use this so much early on because yeah, you're kind of wasting it, I guess the best way to put it. I mean, it's still annoying. You're forcing your opponent to just take the damage. So you got to think about it. Do you want your opponent to take the damage, or you want your opponent to die on their 5th to 6th damage? So you really got to focus on where you want to put this card. And as I mentioned earlier, you can add more if you take the Weaselots out. So that's that. And then finally, for our grade 2s, we have from Colorful Pastel Serena. So Serena's skill is when it attacks the Vanguard, if you have 4 less cards, you draw a card. This pretty much puts pressure on the opponent. They have to, think, do they want to guard? They want you to have card draw, because card draw in this deck is super actually important. And this is actually one of the few cards that can get you card draw. And it's definitely good for the pressure. Your opponent has to think about what the heck they're gonna do. Again, this can slot in with the Weaselots instead. If you want more of these, you take out some Weaselots and you call it a day. So this is really good just for the draw and for pressure. And that's it for the grade 2s. Next we have our grade 1s. So of course we have our beautiful 5 together from the Colorful Pastel melody set. And pretty much these just share the skills of all melody units. So if you have melody units on the board, they share their skills. The most important part about this that I think is the most, just the greatest part about this is the fact that if you have Phenom on the board, these in your hand become 20k shields, which is literally a heal trigger. And then if you have 2 Phenoms on the board, this becomes a 30k shield, which is literally a crit settle trigger. So just to think about it, this is actually really solid. I think this is super good. And the fact that you can just have this through like other skills, you can just get to these is really great. It's like they're just really good shield value, and with the Phenas, these work really well. This is definitely, I use this more of a defensive option than I use them as an offensive option. It's very rare when I put these down and boost. However, the other bright side to these is that yes, you can boost with these, whereas the grade 2 obviously you can't, grade 3 obviously you can't. So this is your other boosting option. That way you can utilize your board to its full potential, and you don't have to necessarily focus on the Caro. But if you need to, you can, but you can always just put these down. However, these become better shield value. Really good. And these are really fun to play around with the melody kit. So that you have 5 of those, or 1 of each, I should say, but 5 together. And then next we have our top tier Sierra. Very, very good card, very well utilized depending on what you need. Since usually you're going for a grade 1 or grade 2 with this card, obviously if you pick up the grade 1 for more protection, you pick up the grade 2 for a stronger grade 2 rush turn. So her skill is reveal a grade 3 Soul Blast. Look at top 7, put a melody, reveal a melody, and put it into your hand. So pretty much this is just your melody searcher with how many melodies we run. Very easy to hit the melody units. It's almost rare when you don't hit. Her other skill is if it's in the back row and there's a card up here, this column can no longer be attacked. So unless they retire, like they have to waste whatever they have to do to retire this or bind, whatever it is they have to do, the opponent cannot attack your columns, which is really good if you're trying to keep your Sonatas safe, your Karos safe, whatever is you need to not be hit or attacked. You can pretty much keep it safe with this card. So it's really good, really strong. It's a searcher and it does more than just search, which makes this a very important 4-of. And then last for our grade 1 lineups, we have Rainy Tier Steza. So Steza is your other drawing option, and she's pretty much in the back row after she boosts a Vanguard. You retire her and draw a card. And her second skill is you counterblast, take a grade 3 from your drop zone, put it into the bottom of your deck, and you draw a card again. So this pluses you 2 from the 1. I think this is pretty good because usually when you have your board of Sonatas and retiring this kind of helps you put this slot in, whether it's for Crystal Pop or for another melody. So getting rid of, like boosting with this first turn and then getting rid of it and putting melody down next turn is really helpful because you usually need that open circle once you start getting your entire hand of melodies and starting to play out your board if you don't go the rush turn like on your first grade 3 ride. So this is really good even just for draw. I think it's a really good card just in general. I've always ran 4-of, but because we're trying out the 5 together version of this, we have to cut this back because there's only so many grade 1 slots we can have. So yeah, 2 of these, draw, good card. There's no decent ride targets in the grade 1 slot, but I just kind of had to accept that that's just how it is with this deck in particular. Anyway, so going on to our triggers. So triggers are pretty standard. We got our 4 glittery baby Lenny? I don't know. Shaleen's. I'm just kidding. Anyways, they have 4 of the grade 0 Sentinel PGs. Very useful for drawing. Like, getting 2 of these in damage is just like the nicest feeling. So yeah, so that's our first 4 triggers. Then we have our trillions of crits, and I'm one of those people that just does a lot of different art styles. But pretty much we got Lever Hope Rena, we got Direct Sign Persh, and we got Duck-In Shooter Polia. Sorry, I'm like really butchering these. But pretty much it's 4 and 4 crits. However you want to do it, you want 4 of these, 4 of these, or 4 of these, whatever it is you want to do. It's 8 crits in total. So we have 8 crits, and then we have our heals. And again, I also did different art for this because, you know, that's just how I am. I like to be annoying. So yeah, you run your 4 heals, your 8 crits, and your 4 draws. That's usually the best way. If you want more draw, you can take out some crits because honestly, because you're only attacking 3 times per turn, usually you don't kill your opponent that quickly. You can, but it's hard. So that's the trigger lineup. And then we have our starter, and then we have our starter, and then we have our starter. There's a lot of starters in this clan, long story short. I have more, these are the first 2 I found. So the reason why I'm playing this one right now is because when I first got into Vanguard, and after playing Grand Blue for a while, I got a trial deck for Bermuda Triangle, and I opened this as a foil, and I was super excited because it was a foil. It was my first like opening of a foil type of thing. So I run this, sometimes I run this, sometimes I run this. If you want to be super annoying, to make people think you're running Riviera, you run this. And then you can also obviously let people know you're playing Melody. You run this. People will never really know what archetype you're playing because hello, Bermuda Triangle has like 5 billion archetypes. You want to run Highlander, Pacifica, Coral, Melody, you name it. Crystal Pop Eve, because that's one too. Anyway, so now we're down to our, quick shield. Gotta have a quick shield. Now we're down to our force markers. So you can go force 1, and I do have all the penguins, but I will show off all my melodies. So you can go force 1 with all your different melody type of force triggers, or you can go force 2 with our new ones, which are all foiled and super pretty. And then you can go the best force 2 trigger, which is the Vanguard 0 trigger. And if you really want to be extra, you can go Shadow Paladins, because Hello, Force Clans, and there's dozens and thousands of triggers. So obviously with the way how high your columns get, Force 2 is usually the better option, unless you're going against someone that retires a lot, or and this is just going for any melody build, by the way, not just this one particular. But usually now with Force 2 being available, you go Force 2 because your columns get high enough to where you don't have to worry about going Force 1. However, if you're going against a person who just loves to retire units and you constantly don't have your cars or whatever the situation is, then you want to utilize Force 1 because obviously if your board's getting knocked off pretty much every turn, your numbers aren't going to be that high, so you kind of need to go Force 1. And then other options are depending on what damage your opponent is on. Like if they're on 3 damage, like by the time you get to your grade 3 ride, usually it's better to go Force 2 just because it's a constant lethal pressure. Like your Vanguard attack it becomes pretty much a potential 2 to 3 killer. Like if you swing and you land a crit, that's 3 damage, then they die. So your opponent has to worry about the Force 2 marker a little bit more because it's more pressure. However, if they're on 2 damage, you really would, if they're only got to 2 damage, sometimes you might want to go this just to shred their hand. And if they are really high in their hand, you might want to go this just so they have to no guard, you know. That's just something to think about when you're going through these. But ideally it's Force 2 and then secondary or your backup plan is Force 1. Just think about your matchups and what you're going against when you make these types of decisions. And that's pretty much it for my deck profile. So as you can tell, it's I like it. I can't say I'm crazy about it. I kind of like what I used to have with my grade 1s, but it's so much nicer to get an entire handful of melodies because you have a lot of options. You guys try it out. There isn't a lot out there, as explained earlier, on talking or discussing this particular deck profile with the 5 Together girls. I don't know why we just had like a big set come out. I know the virus is a thing, but you know, I'm sure people bought the set. So, but no one's trying this out. No one's really testing it. I saw the top, and that's pretty much it. Like I don't really see many videos discussing what to do with the grade 1 units. So I thought I'd make a video, and I hope you guys enjoy it or are enjoying it, and I hope it gives you some information or just a way to approach the deck if you just don't know what to build. Either build this out with the crystal pop or try out the top to deck. G Station has a video like with it in it. If you're just really into meta, you can probably find it somewhere or on Twitter. But yeah, I would recommend trying it out. I definitely think it's fun. The playstyle is definitely different from like what it used to be, and I like the changes because I feel like your rush is just very rushy. But try it out. Tell me how you guys feel about it. If you like it, you hate it, all that fun stuff, all in between. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, please share my video. Let other Vanguard people know like what's up, what's going on, how the melody units are doing. We're about to get more Bermuda stuff coming up in the next 4 or 5-ish months, so we'll be definitely getting more Bermuda. Super exciting to see all the bouncing stuff come back. Can't wait. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Das vidanya, and have a good one and stay safe.